What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and I'm going to do a quick video. I wanted to talk about the BCM KMR rail. This will be a 3-year review. I've coming up pretty quick. It will be the third year that I've been using these rails. I have several of them. I even have more than what you see on the table here. These are just the amount that would fit. You'll probably see more on different rifles in the footage that I roll during the video. So now that I have at least, I think I have 5 or 6 of them. I have a good amount of experience with them. I've also installed them all myself and taken them off several times, so I'll talk about that as well. First, the BCM KMR rail is a keymod rail. It was designed by Eric Kinsel. He came over from Voltor to Bravo Company. He's kind of the father of keymod. He was one of the people that worked on, I think the original keymod was the Noveske NSR. I also own that, and I'll talk about that as well. But he was the one who came up with this design, and to this day I think it's probably the best keymod rail. This rail is offered in 7 inches, 8 inches, 9 inches, 10, 13, and 15. You'll see a couple of different ones of those on the table right here. I think this one is a 13, I think this one's a 13, and I think that one's maybe a 10. The first thing that drew me to the keymod rail is that it was made by Bravo Company. I really like Bravo Company. I've ran their rifles for a long time. They are extremely reliable, and most of their stuff they put out, I don't think I've ever tried anything of theirs I didn't like. I like a lot of their attachments and their accessories and stuff, so when I heard they were coming out with a keymod rail, I really wanted to jump on that. The reason for that was because at the time I was running the Noveske NSR. I had some serious problems with the Noveske NSR. Number one, the Bravo Company rail is lighter. To this day, it is still one of the lightest rails on the market. It was lighter than the NSR, and the NSR also broke on me. It fell over when it was leaned up against something or something. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago. But I broke some of the keymod slots, so I called the company to see what they could do about it, and they basically told me to go screw myself. And I was a little upset with that because customarily in gun companies, they have great customer service. Surefire being one of those, Bravo Company also being one of those, and I usually gravitate toward companies that have great customer service. They care about their customer base. I like to support companies like that. There's so many companies in the gun culture that you don't have to just stick with one company. Like, you know, even when it comes to keymod rails, there's 20 or 30 different kinds of keymod rails out there. If one you don't like or doesn't do the job, you can always jump ship to another one. So I kind of abandoned Noveske after that and went to Bravo Company. Talking about the weight here real quick, this 10-inch rail here is 8.6 ounces. That's with the barrel nut, by the way. A lot of them advertise their weights without the barrel nut or whatever hardware you need to install it, but this rail with the hardware and the barrel nut is only 8.6 ounces. That's pretty impressive, but this is one of the later models where they don't use the magnesium alloy anymore. This rail right here is a 13-inch rail. This is the original rail I got to begin with, and this is 7 ounces. It's like a magnesium aluminum alloy, 7 ounces with the barrel nut for a 13-inch rail. That's extremely impressive, and considering the fact that, you know, I don't just leave my rifles in a safe. You guys watch the channel, you see what I do with them. And this rail itself right here has held up over 3 years of abuse. You can see it discolored, chipped, and you know it's been beaten on a little bit. You can see the metal showing there. You know, even through 2 layers or 3 layers of coating, this pick rail's broken. There's some stuff that's obviously seen some damage, but trust me on this, it's extremely durable. I mean, I'm shot thousands and thousands of rounds through this upper itself. This is my competition upper, so it's seen a ton of rounds. It's even got the echo system in it right now, so it's shooting even more. But it's got an awesome track record as far as durability goes. I haven't broken a single one of these, and like I said, I own several. Another reason that it drew me to it is the fact that at the time, at least, M-LOK wasn't out yet, and I bought lots of accessories in the keymod, like you see these rail panels. I might roll in a clip or two. I have several vertical grips. The CAG grip is my new favorite grip, as you can see. I've got them on all 3. And it makes it just, instead of being like the old Picatinny rails, which were #1, extremely heavy, as you can see I put a slot right there, but it keeps it closer to the rail and it just feels way more ergonomic. The keymod rails are extremely slim. They're very close to the barrel, which, you know, downside of that is they do get a little bit hotter than some of the old rails, but not so bad, especially when you put these keymod attachments there. Or sorry, you put these rail attachments there. You can see another attachment that I have on this is the bipod sling swivel mount. I've got a thorn tail keymod rail, all kinds of stuff you can buy for keymod. Anything that you want, you could install it to this rail. Another thing that's really awesome about the Bravo Company KMR rail in particular, we'll look at this one really quick, is the mounting system. It's got two cross bolts in here, and you can see this one goes in first, or sorry, this one goes in first, and it's got kind of a locking system there, and it keeps it extremely secure. I haven't had one of these walk on me at all. I've never had a move or anything like that. The other reason for that being is that they're extremely tight, and that's kind of a downside that I wanted to talk about, is they're kind of difficult to install compared to some other rails. At least I've found that to be. They're extremely tight, and you kind of just have to you know, either put a vertical grip on the top and the bottom and kind of hit it with a rubber mallet, or push it in, you know, move it side to side and push it in. Now that I've installed these a couple of times and it's gotten kind of worn, it's easier, but the first time sometimes can be kind of a bitch, especially if you mar up the barrel nut when you put it on, because the barrel nut's very tiny and sometimes you can get chips off it. That'll make it difficult to slide this rail on. But once it's on, it's extremely secure and extremely lightweight. Another thing that makes this rail stronger, in my opinion, than most other rails is the keymods. First off, you have tons of spots for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different spots to put keymod stuff on. I've actually used these side rails a couple of times too. I can roll in some footage of that. But as you can see, they're staggered. Now you can kind of see that on my rail panels here. But you can see they're off a little bit, and that's to make it much stronger. I think that's a really, really awesome design and a really good idea on their part. So basically the pros of this over some other rails is that, like I said, I don't think they're the lightest anymore, but they are one of the lightest. 7 ounces for a 13-inch rail, if you can find the magnesium ones, is pretty awesome. They're extremely convenient to take these attachments on and off. Some of them are even toolless, you can just twist them, but most of the ones I have you require an Allen wrench, but that's no big deal. They're comfortable and very slim. That's another thing I really like about it, because I mean, most people, you know, your rifle's too heavy, lift more. Well, what if you can't lift? What if you're disabled? What if you're a girl? What if you just don't want to? What if you just want a lighter weight rifle? I think that the best place to cut weight on a rifle is the front part, you know, the swing weight, so it's easier to move and transition and operate the rifle if the front part of your gun is lighter. Some of the cons is they are expensive. You know, they're not a UTG rail. They're I think they run about 180 to 200, somewhere in there. And the other con, as I said before, is they're a little hard to install. You can do it yourself though. You know, I'm not a genius, and I've installed 5 or 6 of them. Man, they're a little difficult to remove if you want to remove it and change some things. You want to change out your barrel, something like that. You know, they can be a bit tricky just because they mount so tight and so secure. I probably forgot some things here, but I just wanted to give you a little, real quick, the heat. Like I said, I can dump 5, 6, 7 mags through these, and they're still not too hot for me to touch. I saw a lot of people on the internet talking about that, like you shoot 1 mag and they're too hot because your hand is right next to the gas block. I didn't find that to be true. Even if you wore a glove, you could power through more than 5 pretty easy, I think. Those are just some things that I wanted to bring up. I wanted to talk about this rail. I haven't done a review on it yet, and I've owned it now for about 3 years. And I just wanted to say that it is definitely still relevant, and I think it's probably still the best rail, at least for me, on the market. And I don't say that just because I'm a BCM fanboy or something. I've owned a Magpul rail recently. I've had the Noveskis. I've had Tactical 22 rail. I've had a UTG. I have a UTG on one of my rifles right now. And like I said, I've owned several. I've had a Samson as well, and I still think the BCM is my favorite. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. Check you later.